G'day folks, well you may often hear me talking about Paths of Glory on the channel, but I don't often show it being played. Most of the time I'm playing Paths of Glory, and I haven't played it in a while, I acknowledge, but it's online on either Vassal or Wargame Room. I have got my old 2004 edition. This comes with a fairly basic map, but many years ago, I printed off this. I think it was a fan designed map. It was online and I printed it off and mounted it. And play on this. Now I've just taught a friend. Basically we sat down the other day and he didn't read the rules. We sat down and I taught him how to play the game. And then we jumped in and we got 4 turns in. And firstly, it's to his credit as an experienced gamer. He's previously played the Napoleonic Wars before, and Twilight Struggle and Labyrinth. And to his credit, you probably wouldn't be able to tell what side he is, judged based on the game situation. The Central Powers are 1 victory point ahead. They're on 11, but of course there are 2 VPs right for the Allied players taking here. He's playing the Allied players and I'm the Central Powers, and it is very close. I think also I claim some credit as being a great teacher. I taught him the game and he just picked it up straight away. We've been very transparent about the risks associated with sort of situations on the game. He thought about some risky moves out in Tannenberg as the Russians, and I cautioned him about the risk of being caught out of supply and things like this. And it's not the kind of game where you can go rampaging around the Eastern Front and expect to survive with your armies. And I emphasize the importance of bringing in reinforcements. And he's picked it up very quickly. So basically, to recap the situation, the Western Front, as you'd expect at this stage, it's winter 1915, the end of winter 1915. Stalemate, not a lot happening. The BEF has pulled away from Brussels, and they're in Ostend at full strength, though. Trenches throughout the region. The Germans have got trenches in Sedan. They're mine. Look, I don't want to give away my strategy in case he's watching, but look, for the time being, I have trenches in Sedan. I'll say no more about that. We're holding the line in the Western Front. Okay. We're both at limited war now. So we've got to watch Italy. They're not in the war yet. I have them set up just to show him where they go, but they're not in the war yet. Bulgaria is in the war. They entered on the last turn. Look, I will reveal this strategy. I'm trying to wipe out Serbia. I've told him that quite openly. I'm trying to wipe out Serbia quickly before Italy enters the war and becomes problematic for the Austro-Hungarians. The Germans have built up on the Eastern Front. They've now got 3 large armies over there. We've brought in the 11th Army, and the 11th Army event has been activated, but they haven't done much yet. He has very wisely pulled away the Russians from Poland, Warsaw. I didn't advise him to do that. He did that, just thought it was a good idea. I think it's a great move. He's pulled away from Evangorod and Warsaw, those frontier forts that are problematic for the Russians. He's done pretty well with the Serbians, but I think their writing is on the wall. They have got, not much left. 1 more hit and the Serbians are pretty much wiped out. There's no core left for these guys. The Ottomans are in the war, but the Near East has been very quiet. We don't know for how long, but that's it. And as I said, he's been building these reinforcements. So he's got British reinforcements on the board. They are somewhere. Yeah, so he's got a British army in Cambrai. He has got quite a few Russian reinforcements on the board. I don't know if he's brought in any French yet, but there are certainly he's been building up a lot of Russian armies, which is kind of one of the reasons I'm placing my German armies over in the east, because I am wary. You've got 3 armies over here on the way to Moscow, in the Moscow supply box. And then he's got a lot of armies along the frontier, a lot of high-strength armies. I have destroyed the forts in Kovno and Lomza. I mentioned that to him. I said I'd be trying to destroy these forts as early as possible. I only got to it last turn, so he's really been delaying and distracting quite well. Look, the British and the French have been quite active on the Western Front. A couple of counterattacks by the French. A lot of event card play. It's really good to see that for a new player as well, not ignoring those events. I think he's really appreciated the value of those events. So these are the events we've seen. War in Africa. I'm the blue cards, by the way. So he knows about weeding, the deck, getting the lower op cards out. 11th Army, that was mine. Cloak and Daggers, Matahari, get rid of those early on. I mentioned Bulgaria. Now, look, I thought this would help just to clean up Serbia. Probably not needed. I probably could have sat on that for a little bit longer, but yeah, decide to get the Bulgarians. They can also help the Ottoman Empire as well. So getting them down to in the Near East helps bolster those Ottoman forces early on. And then lots of reinforcement. Oh, there we go. We've got 10th Army reinforcement, German reinforcement, getting Pleve out of the way pretty early. Again, that was him. Getting Block out of the way for those victory points before winter, 1915 is good. Getting withdrawal. He actually saved. He saved... I think he saved the BEF. I think there are some questions around the BEF. So attacking units may advance if no core loss, an army step may be negated. So he negated a step on the BEF. They were the only army in the area. They withdrew. They were saved. Reinforcements, Falkenhayn, reinforcements, the usual kind of opening. But yeah, look, he has the allied players. He's done really well against a veteran Central Powers player. I've played this game, well, if I estimate 75 to 100 times. I'm not claiming to be a good player. I do love this game. But, I kind of know the ropes. Probably say I'm a bit rusty. I'm taking things very slowly. There are different openings you can do. And the Central Powers should be aggressive early on, but I'm just playing it easy. I'm taking it easy on the Western Front. I kind of make a move, and he responds really well, playing those replacements. Serbia is probably the biggest weakness. He has been active there, but as I said, just the Austrians have probably had a bit of a free hand to deal with Serbia. One of the challenges in Paths of Glory is countering the pressure that a nation will feel. So again, not wanting to give too much away, but if Serbia is under pressure by the Austrians, then the Russians need to attack the Austrians to take the pressure off, force the Austrians to respond. It's probably too late now, but yeah, that's where I've had some success. On the Eastern Front, he's done really well. Look, as I've explained to him, the Germans can dominate the Eastern Front and still lose the war. You can get all the way up to the gates of Moscow, Smolensk, Kiev, and so forth, and be absolutely struggling as the Central Powers, because the more the Germans advance east, the longer their supply lines are, the closer they are to these Russian, effectively rebuilding centers. Russian replacements come on here, and then they attack the Germans, and the Germans really struggle. And I as a Central Powers player, I'm never too aggressive on the Eastern Front. You certainly want to pick away at the Russians. You want to keep them off foot, off kilter, forcing them to constantly rebuild their armies. So he has rebuilt some armies, but you keep them weak without worrying too much about it. If an opportunity presents itself, I'll certainly strike. But it's not something I'm going hunting for. So folks, as I said, this is 4 turns in. You can see the turn marker up here. End of winter 1915. He just gained that blockade victory point. But as I said, there's 2 VPs sitting right here. Brussels is open. I've actually pulled away from there. So he could grab 3 VPs and bring it down to 8 immediately. That said, I can see Warsaw is open. I could push into Vilna if I want. What else? There's not a lot that I can grab as the Central Powers right now. He can easily pick up 3 VPs. I can easily pick up 1. So down 3, up 1 is up to 9. Yeah, he's in a very good position. So we're going to continue this when time permits. And hopefully I'll report back on how it progressed. Thanks for watching, folks, and take care.